All right, let's have a little bit of fun on this Friday now. It has been a long week in the news. Time for our Fame Factor segment, headlines in the world of Hollywood and beyond. Lots to cover today, starting with this.
What's going to happen?
I gave you my word. I would return for you.
Yes, Marvel Comics out with its newest superhero movie, the new Thor film. Chris Hemsworth stars in Thor: The Dark World, the sequel to the first film, which had decidedly mixed reviews. Thor, by the way, the Norse god of thunder. His love interest is Natalie Portman. His father in this movie, Anthony Hopkins. So is this a film to check out or not? On our panel today, let's start east to west. We're going to start in Montreal. Shom FM DJ Jason Rockman is standing by. In downtown Toronto, our resident Aussie Ryan Carter is standing by. And at our studios in Vancouver, we've got Sean Ayers as well. Thanks to all three for coming on. All right, Jason, you are the comic book freak amongst us. Your take on Thor. Is it Thor or is it Bor?
I've heard nothing but good things about this. I'm kind of actually embarrassed that I didn't see the premiere last night, but I've spoken to sources that I really trust, and they're saying that this is absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to be great.
Our reviewer, Richard Krause, gave it 3.5 stars. Ryan, your take. What do you make of this muscle-bound, hammer-wielding god of thunder?
Yeah, well, the man with the iron hammer is set to nail about $100 million at the box office this weekend if predictions prove to be true. So, I mean, it's looking like it's going to definitely eclipse the last film. And I think thanks to the Avengers, him and Thor and his brother Loki, who were featured heavily in that movie, have kind of laid the path for this one to be pretty successful. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've heard there's a lot of comedy in the movie, which is thanks to the new director, Alan Taylor. So hopefully, a lot of people will get out there and see it, and it'll earn some serious bank at the box office.
All right, and Sean, I want to get your take on this, and while we're talking, I want to show folks this movie poster thing. This was put up in China, which is kind of what happened was they thought in China, some theaters, this was the original poster, which was actually kind of a gay version, a fan fiction version of the poster, and then we've got the real poster where you actually see Natalie Portman in the role, not Thor's brother Loki. What do you make of this movie? You going to go see it? What do you think of the potential here?
Well, first of all, I love the hoax. I love that they switched up the poster and some people bought it, some people had fun with it. I'm definitely going to go see the film. The trailer looks fantastic. And I mean, whether you're a superhero fan or not, I think in the next 6 months with the release of Thor and then X-Men and Captain America, you will be made a Marvel comic superhero fan out of these 3 big releases that we're soon to see.
Absolutely. He got all 3 of them, guys. Did you hear that? He got all 3 of the movies. Very good for his first time on the panel. Let's switch now to Lady Gaga. She's got a new album coming out, Art Pop, but she's also announced that she's going to take her act up into space. She's going to blast off on a Virgin Galactic ship and sing a track for a music festival. All right, let's start with Jason. You're the DJ here. What do you think? Gaga in space.
I think it's a fantastic move. I think it times well with the first Virgin Galactic space flight. You couldn't ask for better timing. You couldn't ask for a better publicity stunt. My personal thoughts would be, first of all, you're going to need a lot of training to do this. This isn't just going to be something you're going to go up and do on the cuff. And from what I've been reading, she's going to be preparing a lot for this. I kind of hope they untether her and leave her out there, kind of Gravity style. Because I'm not a big Gaga fan, but hey, we'll see what happens. From what I read, she took out a huge insurance policy to make sure that she, if something does go wrong, that all her loved ones are covered.
Sean, what's your take on this? Costume predictions, or whether you think this is worthwhile? What do you make of it?
I love this story. I think it's so appropriate that Lady Gaga be the first celebrity musician to perform in outer space. I mean, the costume, the wardrobe potentials are out of this world, pun intended. I mean, you can just imagine her crawling into the egg and taking off into the to outer space. It's going to be a huge media frenzy, and apparently she's not the only celebrity to follow suit into space, with Justin Bieber, who's also bought a ticket for the Virgin Galactic ride to outer space. And I think my feeling is that Team Bieber is probably having a sigh of relief knowing that he'll be leaving Earth for a period of time in light of recent scandals.
Maybe he's going to set up a colony on Mars and continue the empire there. What do you make of this, Ryan? She's got a new album coming out as well, Art Pop, that sort of has people thinking, can she compete with Katy Perry? Does she still got it?
Oh, I think she definitely still got it, still has it. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's going to be untethered in space, let it be Justin Bieber and not Lady Gaga. That's definitely got to be sorted once and for all. But yeah, I mean, I had to listen to Art Pop this week, and I think, you know, for a lot of her younger teenage fans, they're probably going to be a bit surprised, especially at the first half of the album, which is a really electro-influenced kind of hard, you know, dance album, which is not something that we've really heard her do, you know, a more long-form piece of. She's kind of always had bits and pieces of it influenced in her music. So I think the back half of it's a bit more pop and probably the more commercial side of it, but it's definitely a really solid effort.
Moving on, Celine Dion is out with her first English language album in 6 years. It is called Love Me Back to Life, or as snarky critics might call it, Wake Me Up, I'm Dead. Some saying it's a real departure, too much of a departure from her usual fare, too try hard, it doesn't work, or maybe this is just what La Belle Celine needs. Ryan, I know that Celine Dion often playing in your home. Does she still have it, and are you ready to be loved back to life?
Well, look, we've talked about Celine on the show before, so I will remind you, Todd, that there is an ordinance in place that I'm not allowed to publicly disparage Celine. So I have heard the album, and I think a lot of people are saying that it's going to be much of the same thing that she's done before. But, you know, there are a couple surprises on this one too. She's got a song with Neo, who also co-wrote another track on the album as well, and plus Sia, who wrote the title track to the album. I think she should have beaten Celine to the punch and released that song herself, because I actually really love the track. But yeah, I mean, you know, Celine's kind of just a crazy woman anyway, and some of the publicity that she's been doing this week has been hilarious. So if you go on YouTube and look up Celine Dion publicity, I'm sure you'll find some great entertainment there.
Sean, what do you make of this? She's still performing in Vegas. Do you think this is going to give her continued success?
Oh, absolutely, and I think we all know that she's not in any dire situation when it comes to money or her fear of not being a celebrity. She's back, she has a new album, she has a slightly new sound, as Ryan was saying, collaborating with some unusual suspects. But for me, you know, I really just welcome her back with all of her overly enthusiastic gesticulations, with open arms, if for no other reason to take some of the media spotlight off of other Canadians, i.e. Justin Bieber, in light of recent scandal.
All right, Jason, these two have clearly drank the Celine Kool-Aid. You are in Quebec. What do you think about this?
Well, as you know, where I am geographically, I've really got to look over my shoulder, because we could get in a lot of trouble for saying anything negative about Celine. But hey, for Celine Dion fans, I've listened to the record. I actually did have to listen to it for other work that I do here in the city that has nothing to do with the language police. And let me tell you, man, it's if you're a Celine Dion fan, you're going to love this record. She's technically, as a musician, she's a fantastic singer. I mean, there's no doubt about it. She can deliver the goods. But definitely not going to be on my turntable anytime soon. That's for
All
sure.
right. Finally, guys, let's talk real quick about Alec Baldwin and his stalker, who went on trial today, or Thursday rather. Canadian actress Geneviève Sabourin, accused of showing up at his house, launching a campaign of calls and text messages. She says they had a fling. Sean, you start this off. What do you think?
Oh, well, you know, I think it's another case of this, the press is calling her a two-bit celebrity, or a two-bit actress, rather, who's just out for a money grab or a bit of celebrity in the process. I think this has been going on, I mean, this relationship for over 10 years, and the last time that they apparently met was in 2010. I think that if there's no real truth or validity to her claims, that Alec Baldwin should certainly keep his foot down and not opt out for the easier option, which could be just to put some money out and shut her up.
Ryan, expectations?
Well, I mean, I guess Alec Baldwin's probably just happy this one doesn't involve the paparazzi. He's always finding himself in court for scuffles and tussles with the paparazzi in New York City. So, I mean, it is kind of a crazy story when you kind of look at the facts. I mean, they met in 2002, and apparently he wined and dined her until he figured out that she was kind of being a little too intense and kind of backed off. So I don't know. I don't really know what she's looking for other than money. So I kind of agree with Sean. She's probably just looking for some cash and, I don't know, go on a holiday.
Last word to you, Jason.
She's kind of hot. I mean, you know, and crazy can work out sometimes. So I don't know. I think it's a winning combination. If I was Alex, I'd put that new yoga flexible body to work.
All right. Well, you're outnumbered on this panel when it comes to that sort of thing, but that's okay. Thanks to all three of you for being here with us today for our Fame Factor. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend ahead.
Thanks, Todd.
Take care.